welcome to the Master in Hospitality and Tourism Management of ESCP Europe. We are Mónica Muñoz and Francisco Gutiérrez of the Innova Room.
We will discuss today about the key attributes that affect the hotel industry. Welcome.
What defines a good hotel? A good hotel is a combination of inside and outside factors that when they interact between them, we are going to see that they have consequences. If we speak about the market, there are some key factors that we must take into consideration. For example, the demand, the segments, the classification of the clients that we are going to address, and finally the client itself. And these factors are not static, are dynamic as the market itself. For example, the first issue to take into consideration is the size of the market, the size of our hotel, taken into consideration with the competitors. And there is not a right answer here. So there is not big or small market. You must know which one is adequate for you. You must know also what is the composition of your clients, what typically was called the segments of the market, but that now and on is changing every day because the market is evolving, is dynamic. So if you address to a particular segment of clients, this segment the day after tomorrow can no longer exist. Speaking about the market, it can be a massive market of non-personalized products or offers based in high volume and low margin, or it can be a very exclusive and personalized market and offer services that you are addressing to. So there is not a right answer. You can be successful in both models. Just you must know and make this first reflection before entering a business. The big question is, who is your client? And this is the most difficult question to answer, because before we were used in the hotel and tourism industry to think about very big categories of business traveler or leisure traveler. But in the end of the day, this no longer exists neither, because the same person can be traveling for a very different motivation, and what is behind this motivation is the needing of networking with others, other people, your family, your roommates, your business mate, or a congress. So the hotel and all the experience around this business is an opportunity to network to other people into a physical place that has a glamour and an aura of sophistication everywhere. And when you finally know your client via the physical contact or big data or anything, the result is that your client changes you and your business changes also. So, to make a small recap on these short ideas that you are going to develop more deeply in this master program, so you must consider, speaking about the market, that size always matters, but there is not a right answer. That you must know the composition of your market, being your clients, your competitor, or your alliances. You always must be aware of the trend. The trend is dynamic, it's going up, down, or maybe your market could disappear because of the eruption of a disruptive technology, for example. You must be in a massive market or in an exclusive market but in the end, who's paying the bill to go to your hotel? The client. This is the most important issue.
We began this conversation talking about hotel industry at its attributes. We have already talked about the outside, let's say the market. Now we're going inside, and we will talk about the infrastructure that is needed to give a response to the market that we have already analyzed. Let's start by a combination of factors that we call L plus U plus A. After that, we will talk about location, we will talk about fit, we will talk about distribution, and about the two key attributes that we need to have in mind to give a solution for our market, and of course our infrastructure. That means flexibility and sustainability. So let's go for the next step. First of all, before doing anything, you have to stop and listen. What I need to listen for? The market, my client. Let's see what my client is going to be demanding today, yesterday, and into an uncertain future. So, first of all, again, listen, and we will insist on this concept along all the lecture. If you are not able to listen by yourself, or you think that you cannot listen alone, you can use technology. You can do other tools to listen and trust that there is a lot of information about the market, about your client, that can be very useful for your solution, for your infrastructure, at the end of the day, for the business model that you're going to build to solve that vacancy. So, once you have already listened, then you will start to understand. And after understanding, you can think of act. So, never forget L plus U plus A. Okay, every time that we talk about infrastructure, we talk about building, we talk about the physical part of your business, location is going to be a definitive issue. Hotel industry began in the past on the crossroads. Everywhere that people were changing their horses, exchanging merchandise, etc., probably hotel were around. So every time that you think in a hotel, you have to look about the location. Location can be a hidden paradise, a place that perhaps only you or your very exclusive clients know. So we are not talking about, again, premium or low budget location. We are talking about precise location to solve your client necessities. So you can go from a very exclusive location to, for example, a destination where there is already there, people is going to visit you, and you have to fight to another competitors that have already thought about that location for their own business models. Probably they are targeting clients that are equal to yours, and you need to compete on the same destination but through a specific location within there. And finally, you can also be part of a world destination. No? We call those cities that are called world capitals, that are probably in the top of mind, number 1, 2, or 3 of every traveler in the world. So there, you are not competing to another, you are competing to another destinations. So, which one do you prefer? Depends on your client, depends on your business model, and depends on your capacity to create an infrastructure to receive them by night in your facilities. So, which one you prefer? It's not a decision up to you. Your client will choose, and you will adapt your business model to solve your client necessities. Okay, so now we have the first box checked. Location, it's okay. But the next issue is to see how are we going to place our business model on that location. We call this concept fit, because you can oversize your proposal in a very exclusive location, and probably with a client that is going to pay you, the volume is not going to be enough. So be very careful when you are defining the size and the amount of money that you are going to invest into your location. On the other side, perhaps if you are in a very big market and you go there with a small solution, you will lose a lot of market, a lot of business, because you are not capturing all the demand that is already there waiting for you. So again, fit. You can talk about hotels that have more than 2,500 rooms and they are making money. You can think in a very standard urban hotel that has around 100 rooms, or perhaps you can think in exclusive location that perhaps have only room. In this case, probably your problem won't be the occupancy rate, because you are quite guaranteed to have 100%, but probably you will have to deal with ADR. It means the price that your clients are going to pay you daily. Okay, so what is your size? Large, small and medium. It's like the fashion industry. There are items for all the bodies, for all the preferences, and you need to be accurate in your decision. So again, let's recap. Again, listen, understand and act, think in location, think in your fit, and let's go for the next issue. Before going into that definition, we'll want to leave you some metrics that perhaps no matter if you're not an architect or a designer, you can have in mind to analyze the business where you probably will perform in the near future. Basically, every time you see a standard room, think in something that could be around 20-24 square meters per unit. Okay, that's very nice, but what is the size of the whole hotel? A formula that can work in, let's say, 80-90% of the cases could be multiply the standard area for the standard room per 2 port keys, and you will have an idea about the volume or the size of the building that is going to be necessary to solve your client's necessities. And at the end of the day, we'll have to translate all this decision into money, because we will evaluate our business in the way in that money comes back to us. So, how can I define the investment or the maximum investment that I can afford with my business model? I can have an idea by multiplying my ADR per 1,000, and that must be or should be the maximum cost that our investor can afford per room in my development. Okay, so we have a client, we have location, we have already defined our size, and let's see how can we distribute our internal areas to maximize our business. First of all, we're going to analyze our hotel model by dividing it within its operational areas. I will try to think about them in terms of the revenue that they provide me and what is the margin that with which they contribute to the whole business model. So let's start by the rooms. Rooms are the reason for a hotel to be there, and rooms are the main contributor in terms of revenue, and fortunately for us, they provide also a very big margin. So in every hotel in the world, our strategy within the rooms will be maximize them. Up to where? Up to the size of my building and the size of my market. But revenue will come through rooms. In the second part of the list, we will find the M&E. It means meeting and events facilities. They provide a lot of volume, they generate a lot of cash for the hotel, but the margin is very low. So there you have to fine-tune your capacity with your market site and your market preferences. You have to be accurate in the way you define your M&E facilities. Food and beverages. It's very difficult to manage this business within hotels because people want to have very sophisticated meals in their hotels, but not always are aiming to pay for them. And people around, it means people from the city, we don't know why, not go to hotels to have food. So the margin is very low, or there is no margin at all, and the volume also is very small. So the strategy here is to reduce the areas of F&B up to where? Up to your value promise. If your hotel or your business model includes F&B services, you must provide them. Then we will explore some alternatives to have this solution by not bearing the cost of its investment. What else do we have in a hotel? We also have wellness areas. Wellness areas are very interesting for your clients, but not always for you as an investor, not always for you as an operator. So beware about wellness areas, because the volume is very low and the margin too, because they are very intensive in capital and very intensive in human resources. So our strategy or our proposal for this kind of business is to count on experts. There are a lot of companies that have already developed the business model and can be a nice partner, a suitable partner to be able to provide that service at the same time that you are saving the cost or at least reducing significantly your investment. Okay, we have already talked about all the, let's say, business outlets of the hotel, but we also have common areas where our clients need to stay or just go from here to there, alleys, lobbies, etc. And there, of course, we have no margin and we have no volume of sales. But you need to have them. Again, may I make disappear my lobby? May I make disappear my alleys? Probably not. But I have to be intelligent to define how to dimension them and how to provide those spaces for our clients. And of course, we also need to have all the back of the house, all those spaces that our clients will probably ignore, but the service that we produce there is going to be very visible for them, and our clients are every day even more exigent in terms of performance. So if we don't have a very efficient and functional back of the house, our business model can fail. Okay, we come from the rooms that are very nice revenue makers, we have their high margin, and we ended discussing about the back of the house where we don't have any margin at all, any sale at all, and we have a lot of cost there. So why don't we think to create a hotel where we only keep for ourselves the part that is profitable, and we leave for others, or we redefine the way in which we make business with all those parts that are not profitable at all, or includes can be a cost center instead of being a revenue center. I will stay with the rooms. I will keep them. Why? Because I have a lot of revenue coming from there, and my margin is big. So I can manage that, is the reason of my business model, and I really want to keep the rooms. But do I really want to keep the M&A? I want to perform the business of the meeting and events. We have examples of others that are doing this practically worldwide events. There are a lot of companies that are excelling in selling these kinds of events and using these kinds of spaces. So why don't we counter them and try to share our capacities, our necessities, and include or incorporate another business model into our facility? The same we can say about F&B. This can be a magical business model where we have the facility, we have the service every time that we need it, and when we don't need that, our business model goes everywhere or otherwhere to solve other necessities. And we make our business as a, let's say, pay-per-view. No, if I want to provide breakfast, I call the truck comes, provide my breakfast, and then it goes away. Crazy ideas? I don't think so. Somebody is doing this already. Okay, what about wellness? Can you imagine a business traveler arriving from, I don't know, 8 or 10 hours of meetings, commercial meetings, lunch, dinner, whatever, and arrive to the hotel, change their outfit and go to the fitness? Probably yes, but only a very reduced percentage of your occupancy. Why don't we put the fitness, the wellness area inside the room? Why don't we provide solutions, perhaps not via infrastructure, via equipment, via services that can solve that solution in the way and in the place where our clients are. What do you think about technical rooms? We have already said that our back of the house is a cost center instead of being a profitable center. Well, let's think this part of the building in another way. Why don't we create energy, for example, in our hotels? I can think in hotels located on, for example, resorts, where you have very big areas that can work as a capturation of solar energy. You can convert the wind into energy too. So today the energy market is not mature enough, but probably in the near future buildings could be the generators of energy instead of being consumers of energy. There are a lot of initiatives like Passive House, for example, that are creating this kind of solutions to make, in the first step, the building to be autonomous, but probably in the future they will turn their business around and start generating energy instead of consuming it. And for example, storages. Architects are always fighting with operators about storage space. By definition, storage space in any building is small, it's not enough. So again, why instead of purchasing our fruits or vegetables in the market, carry them to our building and need to have them in the refrigerator, why don't create our own production for our own consumption? Again, crazy ideas? I don't think so. There are a lot of people that are thinking, doing and making money through these crazy ideas. Okay, what do we need to achieve? What do we need to have? Which are the attributes as we as players in this industry need to have in mind, to have into our tool bag to fight, to create value and to perform within this market? Flexibility. Flexibility in all the ways that you can imagine. Starting by, you have to be flexible, your clients are already flexible, and this changing culture make us be flexible too. So start your yoga classes, because you will have to be very flexible in your mind, in your body, and of course in your business model too. Go into the hotel solutions. The industry is already offering us elements that can help us to be flexible in terms of the service that we provide to our clients, perhaps in different hours of the day, in different days of the weeks, in different months of the year, or in different years of our business model life. The same counts to spaces. Within the same space, we can create alternatives of different type of use, different types of dividing that space into different functions. And of course, the hotel can be part of a bigger development, of a more complex solution for the market, and you can be only a part of that. So the structure of the business model should be flexible too, to be able to be adapted to other circulation fluxes, to other population that is going to be around. Imagine in terms of security, garbage management, merchandise, entrance and out and way out of the building. So again, and of course, you can have flexibility or your must along the time. There are a lot of buildings, especially in downtown, where perhaps the building was conceived for another use. I don't mind if it was in the past an office building, a hospital, a hotel of another brand, of another category, I don't know, residences or whatever. So again, you have to be flexible to think your business model to last a certain amount of time. And at the end of that cycle, perhaps another use have come to our building, or you enter as a new occupant for a building that in the past perhaps allowed another use. So we talk about the two attributes that you need to have as a player within this market. We have already talked about flexibility, and now we are going to talk about sustainability. You probably have already listened about this concept a lot. There is a lot of information in the web, in the newspapers, wherever we are talking about sustainability. But this is a business. So what do we want to have? A green hotel, of course. I want a hotel that is friendly to the environment, that can perform in a good way, that can manage its consumption of water and electricity or gas, and of course then it produces very low levels of garbage. But of course, we started this conversation talking about the market, the investment, the return on that investment, so we will also want to talk about these kinds of green hotels. These hotels are a business and they need to provide results for all the stakeholders that are around of it. So, recap. In terms of infrastructure, remember LU and ACT, listen, understand and act. Think about the location. The rule location, location, location also applies for this industry. Be precise in the way that you fit and define your size for your property. Be clever in the way you distribute your areas within the building. And try to be flexible and sustainable in the way you face your business. Why? Because at the end of the day, REPAR rules. All this business, all this industry, all our work, no matter if we are operator, consultants, proprietor, whatever, will be ruled by REPAR. And we like to use this example because at the end of the day, this is a hotel room that imagine that can be promoted as you will share the room, you will share the bathroom, you have only one piece of furniture. No matter if you like the window or like the alley, somebody is going to choose that for you, and you will probably pay no less than $2,500 per usage for use. In some routes, this kind of hotel that is on the air has a 200% occupancy rate because they are able to make 2 flights per day. So I like to have this image as the conclusion of our class because it's a kind of, we are competing with these kind of solutions. So we need to be open-minded, flexible and sustainable to be able to create value for our stakeholders. We hope you have enjoyed our class. We hope you visit this university in the future, and thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.